What is up, everyone? It is Lovenji Gaming here, and I am back with a Populous shoutcast. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. I haven't shoutcast a game and since the Populous tournament, which happened back in January. I know I'm still uploading it now, but there's a little bit of an editing gap between that. Anyway, I am here with a 2 versus 2 for you on the map Pressure Point. It's a well-known map, and featuring some well-known members of the community. Playing as the Blue Tribe, in the blue position, it is Clan Asgard's Sub-Zero. His ally, playing as the Dakini Tribe, in the Dakini position, it is Unbelievable, also known as Babo. The pair they're taking on. Playing as the Chumara Tribe in the Chumara position, it is Clan Asgard's Keith52. And last, but most certainly not least, Keith's ally playing as the Matak in the Matak position, it is Gods of Destruction's Eric. It's funny, after reading all those names, you're just like, Eric. Anyway, we've got loud as heck waves. As you can see, all the players are going about their combat. These are all very high quality players, and therefore this game should hopefully be off to a fantastically flying start. Good strong combats coming out of Craig already. He's actually contesting green and yellow for some of their combat. Good to see. I like to see that aggression. Made sure most of his Braves are moving. They're building up towers at the same time. Meanwhile, Eric has done the classic 3 towers for green. Had a nice strong starting combat. He's got his Fire Warrior hut almost up already. He's working on a couple of huts as well. Both players of Team 2 are going to have to go back and tend to this, and as is typical for green, most of their combat is down in this area. So if we go over, we have a little look at red, see how red is doing. He's getting his defenses up. 4 towers on the strip, 3 at the front. Pretty standard. Nobody's going for too many towers. Craig's being a little bit slow on his front strip towers here. If we look at the game time, you know, 2 minutes 30, a particularly quick earthquake could get in here, especially as Craig is being very slow about filling his towers as well. This slowness could be punished, but it doesn't look like Eric's been quick enough to be able to. While Keith's defenses are practically non-existent, Babo's pushing forward and taking some of Keith's combat, whilst completely denying defenses for the Asgard player. Eric, meanwhile, does have a defense built at the very least. Craig needs to get some Fire Warriors into his towers. They're on their way now, but look at this. You're filling your towers at 3 minutes. That's a bit slow to be filling in your towers. There are players out there who have very quick earthquakes. Keith52 is training his Fire Warriors to get them ready into the towers, and he is immediately getting into a tower himself. First spell, lightning. Keith52 in a tower. True Keith52 fashion. Now, of course, I am only joking. Keith will not have a lightning as his first spell. As funny as that would be to imagine, he is a higher caliber player than that, at the very least. But Babo filling this tower first means it will take out this tower, and Keith's frontal strip will look just as bare as Craig's did. Craig's addressed the issue and actually filled in 2 of the towers already. Babo's got control of middle, keeps pushing forward with a couple of ghosts. And it looks like Babo's been slow at filling the rest of his towers, so Keith might just walk in here with his earthquake. Nope, those Fire Warriors just about get into the tower in time. Aggressive converting here, there, and everywhere. Meanwhile, Craig is pushing forward. Gets caught by... Oh, what a shot from Eric. Wonderful blast. Combination of the Fire Warrior shot and the blast from Eric sends Craig into the drink. That's the first shame and death that we have seen in this game. Meanwhile, Babo's pushing right into Keith's base. We talked about Keith not having a front defense, and this is the result of it. First earthquake goes down. It does a good job of creating this nice little path to charge in, as well as reducing some of the high ground defense. Does get 1 hurt. It's not the best earthquake in the world, but it's certainly not one that Babo's going to be unhappy about. sets him up nicely to continue the aggression, as well as making it very hard for Keith to build defense. Chances are now, instead of squeezing a hut around here, he's not going to be able to anymore. He might just cover all of this in towers. I might consider it if I was in Yellow's position. Meanwhile, we've got Craig building out the side strip nice and quickly before he's even building out the front of his base. That's what we like to see. He's got room for one more hut down here. He builds out the rest of Blue's base. Eric, meanwhile, finishing off the green base. Now, the green base is notoriously difficult to build. As you can see, you have to build it in such a way that the height of the ground is only affected one hut at a time. Otherwise, all your plans cancel, and your base is half the size that it should be. So yeah, we've got another Shaman duel here between Keith and Babo. Meanwhile, Craig is pushing forward along the middle. Keith throws out a desperation earthquake onto the front of defense. Babo manages to save the fire warriors by blasting near them. Units, the fire is an animation, so blasting the units while they're on fire will actually cancel it and save the units and keep them alive. Tornado from Craig strips back Keith's defenses, and Keith is in a position where he can find himself getting doubled very easily. These are ghost fire warriors. Craig doesn't buy it. He's not afraid of the ghosts. Meanwhile, Eric is seizing this opportunity. He's got a couple of warriors. He throws down the swarms, throws down a couple of ghost armies. He's going to try and get himself into Craig's base and deal a crippling blow while Craig made the decision to double Keith52. One earthquake from Eric. I think that's all Eric has at the moment. And it doesn't do too much damage, to be fair, for Blue. But Eric's coming back in. I think he's got another spell. Craig's making the choice to retreat. He identifies that he's not going to be able to get Eric out of his base with just his troops, although he might with how Eric was getting shot by towers constantly. Warriors are cleaning up some of the fire warriors, but Craig has now returned. He needs to be careful walking on that hill. Very dangerous there. His Shaman could have easily rolled down or been pushed by ghosts. Babo and Keith are once again facing off with each other in the middle. Blasts are traded. Babo's still alive, Keith's still alive. Both Shamans walking at angles to try and get higher ground. Keith's got the high ground advantage for his blast. He gets Babo with the blast. Babo throws out a tornado just for good measure before he is taken out by Keith52, who is now going to pressure this side strip of Craig's base, perhaps. No, Keith's changed his mind. Thought for a second there was going to be a double from Team 2, sensing the fact that Craig has had to pull out a lot of his fire warriors to deal with Eric's earlier aggression. Now Eric goes down, but not before firing out a second earthquake. That's nice. It makes these towers hard to access, if not impossible. You know, it really ruins all this land, makes it hard to turtle up with it. I liked that second earthquake a lot more than the first. Another tornado is going to clear up the towers. The defense of Green is slowly being pushed back. It's important that Green continues to replace his defense, which he isn't doing just yet. Meanwhile, we take a look at Keith's base. He's got some ghosts patrolling. He's building out the back of his base. Babo's finished his base. Craig has almost finished his base. Eric is on his way to finishing his base. So it's Keith that's building slowly right now. Sign of the aggression, the early damage that he took. Tornado's being traded. Keith goes down to Ghost. Babo's still alive. Oh, he survives the tornado. He survives the tower shot. He throws out the Ghost to distract the tower. He's going to continue trying to be aggressive. Meanwhile, we've got Eric pushing in on Craig at the exact same time. Oh, nice warrior run by from Eric. Taking out all of Babo's warriors that had secured the high ground. And they're just going to pull back now. They don't need to die needlessly. They've got some good troop kills there. Eric continues to pressure the front with his Shaman. Craig is answering back. He's not bowing to the pressure. Tornado from Babo takes out the first tower. Earthquake onto the defense is good because Keith's defense is so thin. This earthquake could do wonders. He gets one of the towers. But there's a nice puddle of water for Babo to fall in, as he is known to do. Meanwhile, Eric's warriors are running by, but they're grouped up. They're going to be taking splash damage from these towers. Should have been spread out a little bit better, I think. Well, we've got Craig pushing in onto Eric. Eric trading blast back onto Craig. It's a little duel of the shamans. Meanwhile, Babo goes down. We miss Babo's death. He goes down, applying suppression. Babo's warriors are helping Craig out. The warriors are green. It looks like Craig is about to get pushed into the water. He does. The ghost army gets him. Swarm comes out from Eric, and he's now going to find himself with an easy path to Craig's base. Craig is making the decision to run his population backwards, sensing that they might be in danger. There might be some earthquakes in his future. There's one. I think it's just the one. Oh, but it's getting harder and harder to build this base for Craig. He might need to get some land bridges to repair some of this land. Re-elevate it if he can. He certainly needs to replenish his defense, fill in every tiny little gap with towers and get them built. Babo's looking very healthy though, so I would say, if I was to guess, you've got Babo winning the front against Keith, but Eric is winning the front against Craig. Trading blast between the two. Ghost army comes out from Craig, nicely cleaned up by Eric. Ghost army clumps together, makes it nice and easy for them to all be cleaned up. Keith is going for a trade. He either wasn't watching or he wanted to clear those warriors. Yeah, he got caught clearing the warriors of Babo on the run by. Babo's now sneaking into Yellow's base. He rolls down the hill. The fire warriors are going to get him now. He throws out the earthquake because he knows he's about to die. And he does die, but not before he throws out the earthquake. This hill is almost non-existent now. Very easy to get into Yellow's base from here on out. Meanwhile, Green is going towards the middle. He is taking the initiative. It looks like he might make the decision to double Babo. They recognize that Babo was the powerhouse of Team 1, and they're going to try to double him out of the game. But Craig, he is not sitting silent. He is not hiding behind his defenses. And in fact, so much so is Craig being a nuisance that Eric doesn't double Babo. He's going in for Craig. He's going to try and deal even more damage. There's fire warriors in the huts for Craig. That's very useful. And into the water goes Eric, but not before he throws out the earthquake, and it gets 2 more huts. Eric's dead, though. This gives Craig an opportunity. There are warriors and ghosts everywhere on Craig's side strip. He needs to do some damage now, or he will just get bowled over by Eric. Craig's in battle with the Brave. Craig chooses to back out. He chooses not to die needlessly. He just chooses to get out of there. Keep Shaman alive. Green is back and respawn Babo in the meanwhile. He's sticking to Keith's Shaman. Just making sure that Keith doesn't get some opportunistic miracle comeback attack. Eric is alive and once again pushing towards blue. Craig needs to be careful. He needs to keep an eye on his Shaman. So those green warriors are still running havoc. Lightning from Eric. Eric saw the opportunity to try and clutch this game by getting a good lightning kill onto Craig, but he doesn't find it. So he misses the light. Babo's giving out, helping out by EQing that side strip. Babo has secured the middle. Throws out a light onto Keith52, but he does not find the kill. Babo's troops are providing defense for Craig, really helping him out by controlling the middle. It makes it hard for them to double. But Craig pushes forward and he dies on the front. Warriors are on their way to Craig's base now. Craig needs to control these fire warriors very carefully. Meanwhile, Babo is trying to make something happen. Keith52 is pressuring the high ground as Babo goes to try and make an attack onto Green. Keith52 misses the lightning. Babo gets the lightning kill. It looked like he missed for a second, but no, he gets Keith52 with the light, and he is still alive, which means while Eric is going forward to attack, Eric has to push back because he's getting counterattacked by Babo. Babo just might have saved Craig's skin there. One earthquake from Babo. Looks like that's all it's going to be. Not a great earthquake, I've got to be honest. Makes those green towers very annoying. I know they might be inaccessible. This one will get in, but these two might be inaccessible. If they are, then that's a great earthquake. And still, any earthquake is better than no earthquake at all. Now let's check on Keith52. Let's see what he is up to. He still hasn't built out the back of his base. He's expanding himself though, that's good. He's given himself some plenty of expansion. So he is building out a base. Team 1 need to be careful. They need to be mindful of the fact that Team 2 has done some expansion, so they may grow to be bigger if they can recover from their deficit. Land bridge from Babo onto Green's side. He spots a warrior training hut that is exposed. Lightning's being traded. And it looks like Green is still alive. Craig goes down in a lightning duel with Eric, and Eric is still alive to throw out a lightning towards Babo, but he doesn't get the kill. Babo was waiting for a warrior, but the Shaman pressure decided to make him go early. Throws out reasonably deep EQ. Gets a nice cut. It's going to make it harder for him to get into Green's base, though. But if we take a little look at Blue's base, as you can see, the towers are starting to repair themselves. And they're starting to get filled. Blue is becoming slowly more and more fortified. Team 1 has secured a lot of the middle as well. Wave of towers coming out from Eric as he calls 1 second and pauses. So now is an opportunistic moment to go to the world map. As you can see, it looks like Eric has not finished his base. Keith is just finishing out his base now, but he did expand as well. Babo's base is finished and almost entirely upgraded. Craig's base, some of it's upgraded. There's a few huts here and there that could do with upgrading, as well as this side strip that needs upgrading as well. The unpause comes. Craig sending fire warriors to secure the middle as Keith52 starts to clean up the towers. Has 2 tornadoes. You know, 2 tornadoes out here are 2 tornadoes not on your troop huts back here, so it's an acceptable trade. Oh, Keith52 tornado luck. Look at that. Takes out the fire warrior and stood a chance of killing his shaman. Keith now interrupts the building of a tower from Craig onto the middle strip. Eric repairs the land with a land bridge to get all of these towers back. So, you know, for the EQ mana, we go back to being a bad EQ really there. Tornado from Craig pushes back the defense a little bit. You'll see a lot of tornadoes from these high quality players just to stop their opponents having too much of an overwhelming defense. And while I was in the middle of that train of thought, Babo rolled into the water and died, as is classic Babo, combined with a well-aimed shot from Keith. Shaman screams ahoy. Keith52 manages to survive, throws out a land bridge that wasn't needed to save himself from that tiny puddle because Keith is afraid of puddles. And Eric is now at the point where he's got mana to burn. He's just earthquaking Craig's defense now. That has a very niche use because it damages the ground as well, so it makes it hard to replace towers lost. And if you've got way more mana than your opponent and a way more fortified position, which I would certainly say that Green does, you can just start to whittle away with earthquakes like this. You know, Craig can't build defense here, so he'll have to build it here, EQ here, and then he'll have to build it here. And just slowly you work your way up by pushing your opponent's defense into the back. Now, Craig once again goes down in a lightning duel, which means Eric is going to push further forward. I don't think Craig's got the defense to not take a bunch of damage here, so Babo is opting to side door. Keith52 manages to survive. I have no idea how he survived that. Babo has a couple of choice words about it too. Firestorm from Keith does clear all the troops on the high ground. Don't normally like firestorms like that, but it does has its use. Green Shaman does go down, but not before she throws out an EQ. Now, it's up to Craig to really He gets away with that. He doesn't lose anything permanently from that earthquake. So it's up to Craig now to really shore up this defense, repair it, get himself established, get himself fortified, not die to green stupidly, and he's getting sided by Keith. That means we miss Babo dying in a ridiculous way. Which gives Keith the opportunity to side. Craig lights his own tower. Keith throws out an earthquake and then rolls into the water. Again, fine earthquake. Now what Craig needs to be careful for is exactly this. It's time to troop Craig. He's got no defense. He hasn't even got a warrior training hut right now. So, you know, good numbers of warriors are going to get into this base and wreak absolute havoc over the general population, should they be allowed to. Lots of warriors from Babo, though. Look at this run by going into Keith's base, tearing everything apart. Babo even gets an earthquake onto Keith's wall of towers. Oh, and it cuts the perfect way. Every single one of those towers goes down, catches fire, and they're even lowering themselves as they flatten. So that little hill is gone as well. Babo Shaman's still alive. Warriors running everywhere. I think Blue died again. Yeah, Blue Shaman goes down one more time. Craig's having a bit of a rough game as Eric once again attacks, and this is what we were worried about, guys. Look at these warriors. They're going to be pouring in. Craig's going to try to save his population from Eric by pulling it to the back of his base so that the warriors can't find it. Eric's Shaman goes down, and that could be crucial. What could have been a death blow onto Craig now means he's just got to deal with the troops, and good control of the fire warriors might be able to do that, although he's not controlling his fire warriors currently. His Shaman is alive though, so should be able to clean up the warriors. If Eric was smart, he would pull the warriors back and keep them alive. He's going to run them by into Craig's large huts on the side strip. Craig saves his population into Babo's base. That's a sign of an ally in distress. It's good that Craig's done it, but it shows you the state of your game when Craig's got a bunch of population hiding in Babo's. It's going to make Babo a more desirable target for doubling as well. But of course, Team 1 have never really lost control of mid, which makes it very hard for Team 2 to double. You've got an individual 1v1 here in which Eric is winning. You've got an individual 1v1 here in which I would say Keith is slightly losing. You know, he's recovered at this point, so he's really not terribly far behind. Craig is throwing out the trademark land bridge. He's going to get a little bit of a wall for himself. And that's a good idea because it's important that he makes it harder for Eric to get into his base, not easier. I hope Craig called that out. You've got Firestorm from Babo onto the big huts. Bad. So much happening. I'm a professional, I swear. Eric actually goes down in a duel with Babo after Babo fires out the Firestorm as well. So Babo's still alive. Keith52 throws out a light, but he doesn't quite get it. Babo sends forward the Fire Warriors. He blasts them forward so that they get the shot. There's only 3 of them, so they won't kill a Shaman. Double Earthquake from Craig as well onto Eric's base. Craig manages to find an opportunity to strike back, and it's pretty decent. It opens up a lot of green space. Really cleared out that wall of towers. There's, you know, meanwhile, you've got a large green run by into Craig's base. They're looking for troop huts. They're looking for population, but Craig was smart. The counter to warrior run bys is fire warriors in your huts, and as you can see, as these warriors are worrying about this hut, they're all going to get shot to pieces. We've got a run by from Eric into the middle. Looks like he's eyeing up an attack onto Babo, or either striking down at Craig's weak side. He may even come down here and attack Babo from this angle as well. This is probably the first time all game Team 2 has secured the hill for themselves. Nope, Eric's going for Craig once again. Craig's got a lot of towers, but they weren't quite filled yet. It's just opportune timing. He can walk past all of these towers now. But he needs to make sure that he does damage, because Craig will have noticed that his towers are empty at exactly this point. And if Eric doesn't do damage, or he dies, See, that Firestorm was now wasted. Meanwhile, you've got Craig counter-attacking the green base. Firestorm is going to get him in. Craig spends the whole game losing to Eric, and then in one attack, he makes a comeback. That's all about your efficiency of spells there, guys. Craig's going to be in there. He's going to be blasting population. He's going to be doing all sorts of shenanigans. He gets a good Firestorm off the doorhouse. He gets an Earthquake to take out the Fire Warrior training hut, which now means Eric has the difficult task of finding places to build a new one. Even more Earthquakes from Craig. He's still not dead. Lightning does take him out, but look at the state of Eric's base now. It was perfect, and now it is in tatters. There's not even a single filled tower anymore. And he doesn't have the means to build a Fire Warrior training hut either. Every single Fire Warrior probably ran into that Firestorm to try and stop the Shaman and ended up dying as a result. You've got Keith52 here on the side. He is pushing forward. He tried to get into Babo's base, but he died. So it looks like this is going to be a victory for Team 1. A little bit back and forth. Oh, we're seeing some expansion from Eric. Probably wise. He needs a Fire Warrior training hut as soon as possible. And these land bridges should help him unless he leaves a puddle in the middle of his base like that. That's more than enough space for a Fire Warrior training hut, although he is going to fix the puddle as well. Good to see. Craig Shaman is alive and well. It looks like he is making a move towards the center. He lost a lot on the side strip. He's lost a lot in the front of his base. He's been really cornered into this small alcove of huts. So he's filling out their side so that he can build there. I don't generally like that expansion. I much prefer you expand here and here. Expand backwards and away from your opponent towards your opponent. But also Craig is a better player than me, so who am I to question him? Earthquake from Babo doesn't find terribly much. It does damage all the defense. Babo is still alive, as is Keith52. Eric is now forced to sit back into his base because of how exposed he is. He's slowly filling the towers with what Fire Warriors he has remaining, but he hasn't finished his Fire Warrior training hut yet. And that Earthquake picked up 2 more of them. He's down to 2 Fire Warriors at the moment. There's the Fire Warrior training hut. It's now up. He needs to get Fire Warriors coming out of there and into towers as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, we have Keith52 pushing towards the Dakini base. Hopefully. Yeah, there we go. Keith52 pushing towards the Dakini base. Throwing out a couple of swarms as the Warriors are moving towards the center. It's important to keep Warriors on the center at pressure point whenever you can, to solidify your control and also to make it very easy for your ally to say, I need Warriors on this person, and for you to be able to provide. 2 tornadoes from Eric do clear out a little bit of Craig's defense, but you know, they can just easily be replaced. Craig moves his Shaman just in time to avoid that lightning. He needs to be careful. Earthquake from Eric onto the defense of Craig, hoping to open up Craig's base a little bit. It kind of does the opposite by creating water like that. It's actually harder for Eric to get into Craig's base safely. Looks like Keith52 has managed to kill Babo's Shaman once again. So Keith starts to push forward onto Babo. Now Babo's defense is a little thin now. It survived multiple waves because you can't fit huts here. I don't know why Babo wouldn't build a second row of defensive towers here. I think it's good on red. If you mess this up so that you can't build a hut here, a row of towers, because why not? It's not like he's short of wood. It's angled like that. It's not like he's short of wood. Second row of towers would be very useful there. But it looks like Craig died trying to attack Keith52. Keith manages to clear Craig up with a light. Eric has got a lot of warriors. Instead of training Fire Warriors when he had no Fire Warrior training hut, he made a decisive decision to train a boatload. That's the metric term for this many warriors that I am allowed to say on YouTube. A boatload of warriors so that he can send them here, there and everywhere. Or, if you're Eric, you can control them poorly so that they all die. Never mind. Eric, the play of 30 warriors might have been great if you had controlled them better than Brave Ray. Earthquake from Keith52 onto this middle strip. It doesn't do very much. Lightnings are traded, but looks like Babo goes down to Eric's lights. What you're starting to see now is a loss of pressure for Team 1. Babo's running over to Craig's base to try and defend Craig. He's not controlling territory, and as you can see as a result, it's allowed Keith52 to completely secure the middle. It's been a good little game with good little back and forth. A couple of lights thrown out from Craig, but they failed to find the mark. Fire Warriors. Oh, what a shot! Both Shamans go down. They trade evenly. Now Keith52 gets to decide what he does next. It looks like he is going back to his base because there's a whole bunch of warriors on the way. I don't think Keith needs to retreat for these. I don't think he needs to. He's got a lot of fire warriors in place, so I don't think he needed to do that. He could have just come forward and attacked Craig. There's a warrior training hut right here that's exposed. Could have done with an earthquake or a tornado. Looks like Eric has stabilized. He's built out his side strip as well. The expansion meaning he's still probably a little bit bigger than Craig. You've got to remember, most of Craig's base is these disparate towers. Disparate, not desperate. Fire warriors on the high ground are very good, as you can see. Continuous warrior trooping from Eric. These warriors not being as effective as they should be. They're not even really getting the shaman in at this point. They're just dying because there was such a difference between the shaman. But this forward tower, I like. He's getting his shaman into it so he can just throw out a couple of offensive spells. Craig gets into a tower of his own, and Eric recognizes the threat and immediately backs off. Land bridges from Eric are going to fill in this water. This gives him another wave of towers. I've talked about this before in competitive games, but what you want to try to achieve, the ideal haven on Populous at the beginning, is 4 waves of defense. You have a wave of towers, then a wave of huts, a wave of towers, a wave of towers, and a wave of towers. If you have this many towers all spread out into waves, you are unattackable. The enemy shaman has to use all their spells to get into your base when you have that many towers. And that means they can't ever actually touch your population. And when your population dictates your mana, you know, you're free to really keep enemies at bay. This is not something you rush for. As you can see, players work towards it gradually. But if Eric achieves it, Craig will really struggle with the state of his base versus the state of Eric's. You can already start to see it in play now. Craig is earthquaking towers, double earthquaking towers, and he only really got 2 or 3 towers from that. Keith52 is pushing towards Babo's base. Meanwhile, Babo is launching a counterattack onto Keith52. Just kidding, that was a ghost shaman. This is a real Babo. Keith decides to answer the call against the shamans. Babo misses the light. Keith, of course, finds his light, but Babo retaliates with another light of his own. These warriors need to get moving and start taking down these towers. Babo, you need to be doing something. Extra fire warriors provided by Babo to his ally to help keep him alive. Babo needs to be thinking about more expansion on her. He has expanded down here, like we said, but nobody's building on it. Build! Second fire warrior training hut is coming out for Craig. Couple of huts as well. Looks like Babo's probably told Craig to build on that side strip to keep himself alive. He puts down a couple of huts of his own there. What I like to see is I like to see the tower here and the land bridge down. You get way more huts out of it. Craig was pushing forward, but it looks like he's been pushed back sufficiently by the fire warriors that are harassing him. Eric needs to give a long, hard think about what he's doing. His shaman is just stood having a little chill-out zone while he's getting side-doored. He finally responds to Craig. It takes his time to think about it. This warrior training hut, which was super exposed, is now going to be the target of a double earthquake, 1 earthquake, and 2 earthquakes. Nicely done by Craig. Gets a good amount of damage in there. Lowers out the high ground as well. Double tornado from Babo. Triple tornado from Babo, cleaning up some more of the defense of Eric. Meanwhile, Eric is trying to attack Craig back. Babo's tornado is just like beelining for Eric. That was funny. Eric would have been mad if that had picked him up, I can tell you that much right now. Babo manages to get Keith52 in a lightning duel, which leaves Eric now exposed to Babo. Eric is forced to retreat because Keith will have said he has died to Babo, which means Eric now needs to retreat to deal with Babo. No, Eric is going to go for the trade. No, Eric can't make his mind up. He needs to go for the trade or defend. He can't keep changing his mind 3 times. It's too late now. No matter what Eric chooses, it's too late. Yeah, his Shaman's not going to get back in time. Firestorm. We'll see an earthquake. Maybe 2. Another Firestorm. Keith52 just respawns, and yeah, we're going to see a GG very soon, I suspect. 1 earthquake, 2 earthquakes. Oh, Babo throws out the volcano! There it goes, it gets the training huts. Oh, beautiful damage. What remains of Eric's pop is now massacred by the lava of the volcano. Eric is crippled to death. You can just troop him out of the game with warriors now because he's got no troop huts left. He's got 5 fire warriors left. Just troop him out with warriors. Doesn't look like Keith52's providing him any defense. Keith's trying to side into Babo's base. He clears the towers. Babo's respawned just in time. There's 1 firestorm, but Babo's alive. Babo throws out a light. He fails to find the target. Keith52 falls down and dies. Keith52 of his counterattack only gets 2 huts. Double earthquake from Craig onto Eric's defense. Eric doesn't have the population to maintain this defense anymore. So which is going to make the trooping all the more easier. He throws out a land bridge of his own to increase his own presence on the map. I don't know, guys. It looks like Eric is pretty dang dead. Had a death from Keith52 at a critical moment, followed by some indecision from Eric. If he turned around and gone to deal with Babo when he first wanted to, he would have stopped that attack, but then he tried to go for Craig, then changed his mind and went back to Babo, then changed his mind and went to Craig again. So much indecision. It's going to cost him. I wouldn't say Craig's got the healthiest looking blue base ever, but it doesn't matter. His ally is a fortress. Keith's strong and well defended, but look at Eric. You know, he can be trooped out of the game. His only standing huts are at the front of his base, which is a big risk. Said Volcano makes a lot of land. You know, stall the game out long enough and Eric can just rebuild. You got to be careful with these long pressure point games. All the water slowly becomes land, defenses become almost impenetrable, and it becomes very hard to finish players off. Craig's making the decision to troop Keith instead of Eric, and I think that might be what allows Eric to stay in the game. Babo's troops are dying to the small amount of warriors that Eric has remaining. And Craig's not offering them support, instead he's going for Keith52 to try and kill Keith's population, but Keith got plenty of warriors, look at that. It's not even a competition between all these warriors. Meanwhile, we've got an earthquake from Babo onto Keith52's defense. Keith's lights miss. Keith either doesn't care or thinks Babo died. I'm sure it's the former. Even more warriors from Babo are pushing into Eric's base. It'd be good to see some troops from Craig to support. Babo's got so much mana, he's already firestorming again. We're going to see some earthquakes from Babo here, as Keith52 tries to launch a counterattack of his own. This is Keith not wanting to die with full spells. There's a firestorm on his own warriors. Good job, Keith52. Earthquake from Babo on the trooper. Double earthquake. It's going to be devastating. And of course the fire warrior has survived, but the Warrior Hut goes down. And here comes Craig as well. Eric's pretty much useless at this point in the game. Double earthquake from Craig as well. On to Keith52. That's going to be GG. I don't see this game lasting very much longer than this. Eric's rebuilt some of this space. Can't get into this hut though. These braves are going to kill themselves because they can't get in here. Keith is doing what he can, but look at all these warriors. GG, says Sub-Zero. GG, says Babo. Unreal, man. He's going to be complaining about Keith's luck, no doubt. And it looks like Eric quits, giving over his stuff to Keith52. And Keith surrenders. That is it. That is a good game between Babo and Sub-Zero versus Keith52 and Eric. Your winners are Sub-Zero and Babo. Team 1 on Pressure Point.